So the quality control officer at a manufacturing plant needs to determine what percentage of items in a batch are defective. The following are different sampling techniques that could be used by the officer. Classify each as simple random, stratified random, systematic, cluster, or convenience. So the individual in this is going to be the batch itself. And the variable is what proportion in that batch are defective. So the officer lists all the batches in a given month. The number of defective items is counted in randomly selected batches. So that one sounds like it must be a simple random sample. It's a little hard to tell for sure because how is he selecting them randomly? But so we'll just go ahead and say, well, it's random, so we must assume then it's simple random. The officer takes the first 10 batches and counts the number of defective items. There was nothing random about it. He just took the first 10 batches. So that's just going to be convenience. The officer groups the batches made in a month into which shift they're made. The number of defective items is counted in randomly selected batches in each shift. So he's broken the population up into strata and then randomly selected from each strata. So therefore that's stratified. The officer chooses every 15th batch off the line and counts the number of defective items chosen each batch. So now he's got a system, right? Every 15th one on the list. So that must be a systematic random. And the last one. The officer divides the batches made into a month into which day they were made. The certain days are picked, and every batch made that day is counted. So he's broken them into groups and then randomly selects a group and takes everything in that group, right? So broken them up into clusters. So that's a cluster sample. Remember the difference between cluster sample and stratified random. If it's a cluster sample, you randomly select clusters and then take everything in that cluster. If it's stratified random, you break it into groups, but then you randomly select from each group, not everything in each group. So, big difference.